start the press conference now. I ask you to ask sort of one question at a time. We have one reporter from ABC 17 on the phone line here, and we have two reporters here in person. Thanks for coming, and who would like to kick us off?
Let's go with Missourian first.
All right.
Oh, wait, don't we have proactive messages, Chris?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So,
Forgive me. Thank you for that reminder. A lot has happened at the university around all of our 4 universities in our system. Big news coming out of Murr and other places. So I would like to ask the chair and the president if you would like to discuss any of these major initiatives that we have been able to observe and celebrate.
Well, I'd like to highlight the Next Gen Murr, both the Next Gen Murr and the current Murr contracts that we've signed recently. One with Novartis and one with the design firm from Republic of South Korea. We're having really positive developments there in expanding our reactor. If we can build the new reactor, we'll go from 10 megawatts to 20 megawatts. Last year, 500,000 people around the world were treated with cancer-fighting drugs that the active ingredient came from Murr, and the new reactor will triple our capacity to produce those. But as important as that, and in many ways more important for this state, is the economic development opportunities that will provide. We will be a high-tech, high-impact hub that we'll build around an expanded Murr facility that will give benefits to communities, not just in Columbia, but I think throughout mid-Missouri. So that's something we're very excited about.
thank you, Chair Graves. I want to report that applications at all 4 universities are higher than last year, and so are the active acceptances. And we're very proud of the work that our faculty, staff, and administrators have done to share the message that we provide a very high quality but affordable education at our universities. In addition to that, we have a record number of research awards that we received, as well as research expenditures. And on this campus, we had the groundbreaking for Bioplex, which is the next major building on this campus. And I believe this is the 9th major building investments that have been made since Chancellor Mo Degani arrived on campus 5 years ago. And so we're excited about that building coming online in about 3 years.
All right, thank you, Chair. President, now to questions. Start here.
During your president's report, you talked about budget recession. Could you just explain what that might could look like potentially?
So budget rescission plans, we've worked with units on campus at all 4 universities to slow down our spending, prioritize. That may have resulted in some freezing of hirings, as well as cutting back on our expenses, whether it's travel and entertainment or meals. In other cases, we may have slowed down some of our capital spend in the process. And we're also preparing for potential for rescissions, as well as reallocation of our expenses so that we can provide support for the most important programs that generate revenue and that are most closely aligned to our mission.
All right, we go to Keomi.
So a lot's happening kind of above, the University of Missouri, nationally with, federal funding cuts and things like that. In the reports at fiscal year 25, you guys feel good about, your budget sheet and that kind of thing. But with the changes in federal, cuts to research and things like, education and things like that, how are you guys preparing for, any cuts to funding, and how would that affect some of the research at the university?
So great question. Today, our EVP, Ryan Rep, provided a presentation about our current financial standing, as well as a look back over the past 20 years in examining how the university dealt with financial challenges, whether they were the downturn in the economy in 2008, as well as the reduction in state support and reduction in freshman enrollment at Mizzou back in 2016 and beyond, and during COVID. During each of those situations, we came out as a stronger university because we made changes very, very quickly. For example, back in 2020, when we learned about the closings that we had due to COVID, we immediately announced that we're going to have a 50% reduction in the first quarter budget for fiscal year 21. And that helped us, that and also the decision to open the campus back up in the fall of 2020 placed us ahead of the pack in terms of having the financial strength to weather through the COVID crisis. In the same way, when we learned about potential for cuts, even before those cuts hit any of our universities, we announced that we're going to be taking financial measures that included cuts, as well as reallocations, as well as postponing investments. So that's the strategy that we have. We're going to hope for the best, but also prepare for the worst, because our decisions really do matter in our ability to provide education to students and perform research that's meaningful.
Yeah, I just want to add that we plan for the good times and we plan for the harder times. And all those things are beyond our control, and we deal with them as a university. I think we deal with them very well. And sometimes it's an opportunity for us, the harder times, for us to take a look at programs and allocate our resources and focus on the things that are important. So we're very optimistic about the situation at the University of Missouri.
Good deal. Let's go to KMIZ on the telephone line.
Hi, this is Erica McGuire with ABC 17. I know earlier this morning you mentioned making a strong case to NIH. What exactly is Mizzou asking for or will be asking for in those conversations?
Well, we are highlighting the impact of our research. And by the way, it's not only that research through NIH, but it's also through USDA. Very recently, we learned that one of our projects from USDA that had a focus on climate-friendly practices to increase yields for farmers in mid-Missouri was one of those projects that were being halted because of the focus on climate. And by discussing the impact of that project with leaders at USDA, as well as our congressional leaders, we were able to get that $25 million in funding reinstated. So it's providing clarifications, but also providing the impact that our research has to benefit members of our society. And so it's a continuing process.
All right, let's go around again. The same
Okay.
way. You're good? All right.
KOMU?
So also like looking ahead to fiscal year 2026 in the presentation, it said like moderate increases in tuition. Do you guys have any idea how much that's going to be? Yeah, have you named it?
Not yet. Not yet. That's a discussion that we'll have with the board before the announcement. We'll probably have that discussion at the May retreat meeting. Not yet. That's it.
All right, ABC 17.
Back to the NIH, with fewer NIH award being granted this year, is the university looking at alternative funding sources to keep research going?
Yes, we are. Obviously, we are exploring foundations as well as philanthropic gifts to support the research that we have. But it's going to be very difficult to replace NIH funding. NIH is the largest funder of university research throughout the United States. And so to replace the level of funding that potentially can be at risk is very significant. And so we will continue to make the case to NIH and other agencies about and educate them on the value of our research so that the funds will continue to flow to the University of Missouri.
Moving over to,
Go ahead.
okay, so moving over to kind of just some like public safety concerns and stuff
Sure.
like that. So last night, there, we got the text message, text message that there were shots fired, and then literally the current info suggests no shots were fired. So my question is how does like the automated messaging system decides what warrants a message?
Right. That's a great question. You know, a few years ago, I made a decision that when we hear a report of a shot, we're going to let our community members know about it. And we recognized at the time that that may result in some false alarms being raised. And that's what happened last night, as well as the first instance where we reported uh, shots fired back on Saturday, the 12th. So, two instances in less than a week. We are reevaluating how we are going to be informing and what thresholds we're going to use to inform our campus constituents. Because if there are shots fired, we want our constituents to know about it, know where the location is, and to avoid that area. But in these two cases, the system did not serve us well, and we're going to be making some changes. In addition to that, we will be having stepped up patrols along with Columbia Police Department in concert with MEPD so that in downtown area so that we can have more of a presence so that people know that this is not the place that tolerates gunshots. And so we hope to see progress in that area.
All right, ABC 17. Anything else?
I'm okay, thank you.
All right, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I'll just kind of lump, because you kind of touched on that, since I'm the last one to get everyone out of here. So, you know, trying to think about how to lump all three of these in. But, so you kind of touched about it a little bit, but like, have you guys had conversations with the city, and like, how do those conversations happen to discuss collaboration with the city to keep downtown safe?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just ask them back to back. You know, Facebook, I mean, obviously Facebook's Facebook, but like there's been some parents kind of just concerned.
Of
about
course.
last week. I mean,
Of
saw-
course.
saw the video at Cosmo Park, it was crazy.
Yes.
So just, do you guys plan to like in any way publicly address that or like address the parents' concerns? I mean, I could be that.
Yes, yes. The parents are concerned. We are hearing that and seeing that through social media. And I want to share with them that public safety and safety of our students is of high priority for all of us that work at the university. Obviously, that may create a situation if we don't address it where parents will ask the question whether it's a safe campus. It is a safe campus, and over this year, beginning in January, there were two incidents that involving guns near our campus. Now, that's too many, but there's only two. And I believe that the actions that we have taken as a university, as well as the city, have helped in reducing the number of incidences that occur. I believe accountability is very important, that this should not be a city where people think coming in, shooting off their guns into a crowd is acceptable, because that's totally unacceptable. So we want to see accountability when those perpetrators are caught and taken through the full accountability through the legal system. So that's number one. Number two, we have been making investments in advanced camera technologies. One of the things that I would highly encourage business owners in downtown to do is to share their videos with the city as well as the university so that there is more surveillance to prevent situations like this from happening in the future. And as I stated, beginning this weekend, we're going to have stepped up patrols in coordination with Columbia Police Department. And I want to thank the leadership of Columbia for agreeing to do that with us.
All right, well, do you all have any concluding?
Can I ask one more question? I'm
Sure,
One
sure.
more question, you're the last one.
Okay, sorry, can you just kind of give a quick status update about the students that had their visas revoked, and are they going to be ordered to leave the country? Can you just give an update on that?
Yes, the students that have been at the University of Missouri in Columbia, there are 5 students that have had their visas revoked, and They are all in different stages. Some are still continuing with their studies. Others have completed their studies and they're on OPT. And so there's not a one-size-fits-all situation that covers all 5 of them. But in each case, we've reached out to them to ask them what we can do to help support them. And we also provided an opportunity for them to get legal support. So that was important for us to let them know that as students, we care about their welfare and that the university is there to help support them. And that is probably the most that I can say without getting into specific details. But we are aware of them, and we have been in touch with them to share with them our support.
All right.
Thank you.
Any concluding remarks, Mr. President? Or
No.
Mr. Richard?
No.
All right, thank you very much.